Papoose was a good man from what I seen. I wish I had a good man like Papoose. Remy Ma now want Papoose back, and he done moved in with his new girlfriend. Now she gotta play the hand that she picked. That man waited for her like she was in jail.
Typical day, it signaled the start of a storm that would upend Remy Ma's life's foundation. While the streets of New York were bustling with activity, tension was gathering in the shadows, brewing into a storm that was about to blow. Remy used to be well known for her. In the rap industry, fierceness had always been associated with strength, independence, and bravery, but on that particular day, none of those attributes would shield her from the fallout from a hasty choice. Recently, Remy had entered into a new relationship that began with the promise of passion and excitement, and her new partner Vanessa was everything Remy had ever wanted: self-assured, attractive, and vibrant. However, like many relationships, the honeymoon period soon ended, and the flaws started to surface. Remy, a woman who had spent much of her life battling for respect in a harsh world, had been having more regular disputes, which started out small but gradually grew more intense. Vanessa, on the other hand, was finding it difficult to strike the delicate balance between affection and control. Hand had a different temperament and wasn't scared to challenge Remy, which initially piqued the rapper's interest but quickly turned into a challenge that Remy wasn't ready to lose. The battle that started it all had begun anew. Something insignificant like most arguments, a casual remark, a miscommunication, and a bit too much booze. But for Remy, it rapidly intensified her feelings, causing a whirlpool of stress, envy, and old wounds to bubble over as words were exchanged. And before either of them knew it, things had become violent. Remy's hands, which she had previously used to write strong lyrics and grip microphones, broke during the heated fight and ended up holding Vanessa's throat and pressing her against the wall. Remy's anger impairs her judgment, and she wasn't thinking or calculating. Wasn't in charge, her hands tightened as the strong emotions she had repressed for years came to a peak, and the room whirled with her rage.
In recent times, you're really not ready for this work. She said it's natural. She don't have to. Not even I like talking about fighting. Sometimes people be needing fucking hands put on them.
Remy's hold on Vanessa was unforgiving, and only when Vanessa screamed in agony did he appear to return to reality and realize the seriousness of what she had done. She released go, stepping back, her chest heaving with a mixture of anger and shock at what she had just done and what she had turned into. You can't just do that. You can't damage me, Vanessa said, gasping for oxygen as she staggered backward and put her hands to her neck to gather herself. Remy stood her corpse remains motionless in the room, stunned. Guilt started to seep into her chest, making her feel smaller and the walls closing in, but she didn't have time to comprehend the harm that had been done. Fearful and trembling, Vanessa quickly grabbed her phone and dialed the police. The sirens soon began to blare through the noise from the streets drowned out the turmoil that had broken out in that flat, and Remy was caught right away. Her wrists were tied behind her back, and her mind was still spinning from what had happened. She had always taken pride in being a strong lady, but she felt completely helpless at that time. The cold steel of the handcuffs and the flashing lights blurred in front of her eyes, almost representing her own self-imposed jail. As Remy was led away, Vanessa, who was still shaking, felt like crying. The courtroom was a solemn place in the weeks that followed the trial, and she wanted to shout and run after her, but she realized that what had happened could never be undone. The trust had been broken, and the terror would last long after Remy was gone. Public, with many questioning how a woman who rose from the streets to the stage and was once the queen of the rap game could find herself in such a terrible circumstance. Remy's solicitors attempted to portray the affair as a regrettable instance of passion gone wrong. It was an altercation between lovers that had gotten out of hand, but Vanessa's bruises were proof enough. The media thoroughly examined every element of the narrative, focusing on the witnesses who heard the screams and, most damaging of all, Remy's own confession. As soon as Remy's fall from grace became the day's headline, social media erupted in criticism. Some were supporting Remy, while others were denouncing her behavior, but ultimately the harm had been done, and the repercussions were inevitable after the judge rendered her decision, it was certain that Remy Ma would pay a high price for her deeds. She was given a sentence of several years in jail, which felt like a lifetime to the woman who had once looked untouchable because of the life she had constructed, the celebrity, the riches, and in an instant, admiration had vanished, leaving behind only a brief recollection. After years of cultivating a reputation for toughness, Remy found herself confronting the most difficult test of her life behind bars. The silence was deafening and the isolation was oppressive. However, there was no place for pride or ego in the harsh, brutal realities of prison, and Remy was forced to face her deepest emotions, including the sorrow that gnawed at her soul as the days went by, the anguish she had attempted to escape, and the wrath she had suppressed for so long. Remy started to shift. She could no longer conceal the intensity of her feelings since she had wounded a loved one, and no amount of money, fame, or admiration could make that go away. She spent her time thinking, writing, and attempting to accept the woman she had. Turned into her anger, Remy knew that she would never be the same person again after a source of power destroyed everything she had worked for, leaving her to face the repercussions of her actions in the solitude of her prison cell. Red carpets for the masses not only had her celebrity vanished, but she had also lost something far more valuable: the trust of her friends, fans, and, most painfully, the trust of Vanessa, the woman she had once loved. Remy Ma's tale turned into a terrible lesson in warning about the perils of unrestrained emotions and a life without consequences. She had discovered the hard way that no amount of fame or strength could shield her from the consequences of her own deeds. And in that chilly, lonely cell, she believed that one day, after a torturous voyage of redemption, she would return to her former self and perhaps even have the opportunity to put things right. Known for his calm manner and steadfast devotion to his wife, Remy Ma, Papoose found himself in it. The news hit him like a ton of bricks in an emotional moment that no one could have predicted. In addition to being a triumph for Remy Ma, the $30 million spousal support award marked a turning point in their relationship that left Papoose in shock. Overpowering feeling the pair had endured years of hardships together, including personal struggles and legal disputes in the music industry. Papoose had supported Remy no matter what, even when their relationship was put to the test when she was incarcerated. His devotion to her had always been unwavering, and he had always had faith in her strength, talent, and future together, but now that the legal formalities were over, the amount on paper appeared almost unreal. Spousal support of $30 million was an amount that held a great deal of emotional and financial weight for Papoose. The situation's significance was more important than the money alone. With the money, Remy was able to start a new chapter in her life, regain her freedom and job, and keep making. It was a win for her, but it also caused Papoose to think back on their journey, the ups and downs, and the tremendous obstacles they had both overcome. In the silence of their home, Papoose couldn't help but cry, but it wasn't cries of grief or rage. But the pride and tears of relief. He had always known Remy Ma had the capacity to overcome whatever challenge life threw at her, and this victory wasn't only a court case. Rather, it was evidence of her brilliance, tenacity, and the unwavering power of their love. However, Papoose understood that even the strongest people occasionally required some time to digest the significance of their journey. Having helped Remy through her darkest hours, he was overtaken with emotion as he watched her reach this remarkable milestone. As Papoose brushed away his tears, he realized that this would be a time they would never forget. He was proud of his wife, pleased with their love, and proud of their combined power. Although the triumph was hers, it seemed like theirs at that moment. Forget a triumph unlike any other. It was about everything they had gone through to get here, not just the money. It served as a reminder of love's power, tenacity, and the unbreakable connection. It had sustained them both during each difficulty that life had presented to them.
Think about Pap and Remy. I think that is very unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Because I like them too. Very unfortunate, but you know, we won't be knowing what folk be going through behind closed doors, so we don't know what really happened. I remember I spoke on that shit one time, but I don't know what really happened. You know what I'm saying? What made everybody move the way they were moving. You know? I know about it, man. Like, shit's crazy. I know about this marriage. Shit's hard. I know one thing like that. You gotta have the right person. If you have the right person, it won't be so hard. It'll be like living life. Regular ups and downs. But you get with somebody that ain't right, but it's just gonna tear your up. And you gonna wish you ain't never did that. You probably, if you ain't strong enough, you probably ain't gonna never do it again. But I'm gonna do it again. I ain't doing no court.
Put it this way, if I was in your shoes, they would say, Kurt, you deserve that shit. They would talk shit about me. And you know what? Dude, I love the fact they love you. Niggas love you, bro, because you did with a lot of...
Remy Ma sparked a major online uproar when she accused Papoose of cheating on her with boxing champ Clarissa Shields. Of course, Kurt Frost couldn't resist jumping into the drama, and let me tell you, He came in strong. He stood firmly by Papoose, praising him for keeping his composure while Remy allegedly played him dirty with other rappers. But Kirk didn't stop there. Oh no, he took it further, calling Remy toxic and accusing her of trying to act all innocent when in fact she was the one who set Papoose up for the slander despite being guilty of everything she's accusing him of. For those who might have missed this hot tea, let me catch you up. Last year, news broke that Remy Ma and Papoose had split, and shortly after, rumors surfaced that Remy was seeing underground battle rapper Easy the Block Captain, who ran in the same circles as Papoose. But wait, there's more. A few months later, Remy got exposed for being involved in a polyamorous relationship with yet another rapper. Bad news. While Remy was out there living her best life, Papoose stayed silent, took the loss, and moved on. When Papoose eventually started seeing someone who really couldn't take it anymore. Just a few days ago, Remy dropped a bombshell claiming that Papoose cheated on her with none other than Clarissa Shields. She posted a screenshot of a private conversation between Papoose and Clarissa, accusing him of falling asleep on the phone with Clarissa while in her house and claiming that Clarissa had hung up the moment she heard Remy's voice. Remy didn't hold back, saying, "You're not the only one now. We all know Remy Ma has built a reputation as a tough, boss-like figure unafraid to step on some toes. But this time she was picking a fight with someone tougher than her, and it didn't take long for Clarissa Shields to clap. Back, Clarissa responded with a killer line. How does a woman with 2 boyfriends get mad at a man who has a girlfriend? She wasn't done though. She hit Remy with another line. If I'm not the only one, why the hell are you? Tagging me alone. Then Clarissa took things from Instagram to Twitter, where she tweeted, I can't believe a 45-year-old woman is crashing out like this. Making fake texts is crazy. I'm not a bee you can bully. You're bitter and mad you're making yourself look stupid. Just stop it. Ouch, that was some serious shade. Really quickly responded saying, I'm not 45 yet, but you're 29, and I'll just say this. You're not aging like wine, honey. Then she kept it cute, telling Clarissa, tell your boyfriend to buy you some flowers and gifts. He didn't even answer his phone because he was with his Seagull this week, and then bam. Papoose finally broke his silence. After months of staying quiet, he hopped on the internet and said, sad to say Remy Ma is a narcissist. She chose to cheat repeatedly. Now that I've moved on, she's playing the victim. I've asked for a divorce numerous times, but she'd rather chase clout on social media than handle this like adults. Papoose went on to explain how he stayed quiet for the sake of their daughter. But after Remy continued to slander him, he had to speak up. He also shared a photo of Remy cozying up to Easy, the Block Captain, by the Christmas tree, captioning it, while I was at home with my daughter last Christmas. This is where Remy was, but Papoose wasn't done. He continued, now that I've moved on, she's mad and making up lies. I told her we could divorce like adults, but she refuses because I won't lie and say I didn't knock this chump out. I still have messages of her begging me to lie about the knockout, but who cares? You didn't throw one punch back. Last time I saw this chump, he was in the photo position. Everybody saw it. Damn, Papoose was not holding back, where Remy called out Papoose for moving on with his new girlfriend. The internet went wild, dragging Remy for being toxic. Fans were saying Papoose didn't deserve any of the drama she was causing. And just when it seemed like the mess couldn't get any crazier, Walks Kirk Frost didn't just show support for Papoose. He threw some serious shade at Remy, accusing her of trying to play the innocent victim when she's guilty of everything she's accusing Papoose.
There's so many women in here, and the women always talking bad about the guys. And then it's none of my business, but I get talked about all the time. And I'm just saying, if he went and this, and his reward to me is bad, but this ain't my business, but I feel like, God damn, bro, I feel bad for him. Put it this way, if I was in your shoes, they would say, Kirk, you deserve that shit. They would talk shit about me, and you know what? Dude, I love the fact they love you. They love you, bro, because you did with a lot of people do. Seriously, love you that. That's true. You got a lot of respect for the street. I'm keeping it honest. Women, y'all have showed y'all in a very bad way. Okay, well, at least the women too. That's what I'm saying. Y'all always
social media, the women are riding with Papoose.
But even though I say she was on the 12.
I won't lie and say that I kind of agree with Kirk on this one. The only reason Remy isn't getting more criticism for that decision is because if the roles were reversed and Papoose were doing what Remy is doing, the issue would be even messier. But wait, it's not just Kirk. The reason Papoose is portrayed as a toxic one is because she's a woman. Since Lil Scrappy doesn't hold back when he speaks, we'll see what he had to say about all this turmoil in light of Frost speaking out.
Pap and Remy, I think that is very unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? Because I like them too. Very unfortunate, but you know, we don't be knowing what folk be going through behind closed doors, so we don't know what really happened. I remember I spoke on that shit one time, but I don't know what really happened. You know what I'm saying? What made everybody move the way they were moving. But I know know about it, man. Like, shit's crazy. I know about this marriage shit's hard. I know one thing, like that, you gotta have the right person. You have the right person, it won't be so hard. It'll be like living life. Regular ups and downs, but you get with somebody that ain't right, but that shit's gonna tear your up. And you gonna wish you ain't never did that shit. You probably, if you ain't strong enough, you probably ain't gonna never do it again. But I'm gonna do it again one day.
This argument makes it obvious that a divorce should occur as soon as possible because of how Papoose and Remy Ma's relationship ended. If I'm being honest, I have to place most of the blame on Remy Ma because he handled the entire scenario like a genuine gentleman, but Remy couldn't. She revealed his relationship with Clarissa Shields because she couldn't bear to watch him with someone else. Since it's obvious that this one has failed, we only hope Remy signs the divorce papers and lets Papoose go. The truth is that marriages only last when both partners want them to. Proceed with his life. Fans were discussing Kurt Frost's remarks regarding Remy Ma's attempt to play the innocent card, with many claiming that Remy is coming across as a resentful person because she let Papoose move on, embarrassed him in public, and now he's wrong for getting a new girlfriend because Remy strayed. Some exes simply can't stand seeing their ex-partners happier after the breakup, and Remy Ma seems to be a prime example of what happens when a woman can't let go. She will try to ruin someone. She has publicly messed with the battle rapper and is now upset that Papoose has partnered with a world champion boxer. Another person's image to boost her own self-esteem. Did Remy Ma handle Papoose fairly, in your opinion, or is there more to this story than the media is revealing? If so, why is Remy calling Papoose out for infidelity when she was also cheating?